Hello, my name's Tim. Welcome to Tim Burbage Reads, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a book called Small Town Problems by Chris Ritchie. So this is a self-published or independently published book, which the author sent to me for free, which is very kind of them, and they reached out to me because I asked. I said, if you have self-published a book, let me know and I will get to it. I will read it. And that call goes out again because 1, it's really, really hard to write a book. 2, it's really, really hard to publish a book. And 3, it's really, really hard to publicize your book. So I'm happy in my very, very small corner of the internet to champion self-published and independently published books in my own little way. And this is called Small Town Problems, and it's a modern sci-fi first contact story. Now, I've read a bit of self-published sci-fi and tends to be in the military sci-fi or in the space opera kind of genres. And I went in not with expectations set, but that's kind of where my head was at. I thought, this is first contact. It's going to be in a small town. You're going to have, some stuff happening. It ended up being a really cozy story. It is set in a very small town in Oklahoma. We have an alien crash land in some format, in some way. And we follow a character who discovers the alien. We never follow the alien as a main character, but they are very much involved. And the alien settles in. We get a cozy story about an alien from another planet coming in and becoming part of their town and part of their community. Just because it's cozy doesn't mean there's tension. There is a lot of tension because they are trying to hide the alien from the feds, basically. And as someone who is currently watching The X-Files at the moment, it's quite interesting because it's like the reverse, where they have got that small town mentality of, we're not going to tell you anything. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really, really good. It wasn't perfect by any stretch. There was a couple of copy editing mistakes. One of them where it was chicken coo instead of chicken coop. So the idea of chickens staging an uprising is always quite funny. And there were a few times when the same sentence was repeated like 3 or 4 times on a page. And I was like, if I was the editor, I would have gone, no, you just need to kind of rephrase that a bit. But there was one other kind of prose issue for me that made it stand out as something that is, I would say, not professionally published. And this is a purely subjective thing. But the author, I'm going to put, the author wanted to convey the fact that the aliens spoke in a different way because they have a different shaped mouth, they have a different shaped tongue, they spoke in a different way. And so the author decided to use a linguistic quirk called eroticism. What this is someone who can't say their R's properly. A famous person in the UK would be Jonathan Ross. He kind of says Jonathan Ross, like his R's kind of get a little bit stuck. And either come out as a W or just a W, and my son sometimes speaks with a W. He's got a lot better. We've worked on it a lot. And so it's something that kind of stands out in my mind, And that's fine to have this alien speak in a different way. And the author decided to write, whenever the alien speaks, and the alien does a lot of speaking, every single R is replaced by a W. The problem with this is that not every single R written down is a sound. And this might be because I'm English, and so we speak language differently to people in Oklahoma. But the word like hard, for example, someone with eroticism can say hard because they're not saying hard. They wouldn't say howd. It's the R is a different sound than I know this sounds very strange, but this is the kind of thing where I really get what the author was going for because they want to show that this alien speaks in a different way. but it was annoying for me to read, to be frank. And any time this happened, it kind of highlighted to me, okay, I can see the mechanics of the writing here. I can see what the author was trying to do, and I don't think they've achieved that in a way that is satisfactory to me as a reader, with a little bit of phonics knowledge. So I wouldn't know what a primary school teacher would say, for example. But I see what the author was going for, so I think if they had another go at it, it would be like, fine, I know what you're trying to do to try and get the alien to sound alien. Find a different way, because I don't think this way quite hits. So it's not a 5-star from me. I don't think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But the vibes were great. The vibes were so good. I love the small town nature of it. I love the fact that everyone is so welcoming to the alien. I love that the main character, has their own history, and that appears throughout the story in a very organic way. We see their history through their approach to life. I like the fact that there's a bit of an older main character. I thought the tension was kind of changing and shifting, but there was always some kind of tension. I was never bored reading it, even if the tension was, how is this very minor thing going to happen? But there's an alien involved, so what's going to happen? And then the tension ratcheted up at the end, and there was action at the end, and it was satisfactory to read. So I gave this book 4 stars, and I think this is part of a planned trilogy of novellas, and I would definitely be up for reading another one, definitely, because because I just love the vibes of it. I love the coziness of it. It also was the perfect story, I think, for a novella. I think for if this book was 300 pages, it would be way too long. You know what I mean? It was just right. So let me know if you've read this book, which is quite unlikely because there's not that many reviews, which is why I'm putting a review out. But also let me know below if you have written and I've self-published a book that you think I would enjoy. Tell me, contact me, and I will read it. I promise you that at some point. But I will read it. So yeah, give this video a like. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Now, get out of my house.